Found a fish!
Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldis and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're in self-isolation due to the corona virus, and had a little bit of time to work on some new patterns and trying my best to be inspired. And it's that time of year that the beautiful Chironomids start to do their magical things in the little lakes surrounding western British Columbia and the interior. And it was a long winter, and pretty excited to be tying some different stuff other than some streamers. The rivers are starting to catch fire and get pretty big, so it's almost time to swap over to some of these small lakes. The lakes in Pemberton are fun. The lakes in Kamloops are fun. The lakes in 100 Mile House are fun. I mean, I'm sure you guys got your little lakes that are full of beautiful fish. But today, I was following some stuff on Instagram. Brian Chan posted a beautiful stomach full in a vial of some Chronomids, and I figured, hey, if he's posting that, I better try my best to imitate it, and that's what I did. So before we go down to the bottom of ice, I also want to just quickly go over to our Friday Night Flies page here and congratulate our man, Rod Dayton. Look at that dragon. So that was a winner from our contest this past week. Congrats again there, my man. I'm going to need your mailing address, so if you can send that in a private message, you'll be receiving our brand new SolarRes high power UV flashlight, rechargeable lithium battery. Man, that cures UV resins like you wouldn't believe. Anyhow, so what we were talking about is this post right here on that side. That was what our good man Brian Chan posted on Instagram this morning. And you bet I would try my best. And like other followers, if you guys are avid about doing Chronomid, there's a couple Instagram accounts I would highly recommend. One's Fly Guys, and another guy is Brian Chan. Brian Chan's definitely wrote the book on Chronomid fishing, and I'm sure he'll teach you a lot. But today, we're just going to go over another thing. I've got so much on my plate today, and hopefully we keep you guys entertained. But we've got another sponsor on our show from Tasty Tackle. And if you guys are looking for beads for Chronomid fishing, these guys are good, man. Their packaging looks amazing. They got every color under the moon. Today I'll be using their black nickel in a 7/64ths, and that would be this guy here. So what you can do is just go down there and click on that guy, add it to your cart, and ship it off to yourself. I'm also using, here we'll go back up. So anyhow, Tasty Tackle. I'll show you what their product looks like in the bag. So it's flashy stuff, really good colors, and I'm covering all their beads. It's actually kind of hard to hold on to, but that's what their packaging looks like. That's what their beads look like. They got a whole bunch of different stuff. So if you're game for trying some beautiful beads and paint's good, doesn't fall off, which is another pretty important thing. You don't want the paint to damn fall off. But so today I'm using their black. We'll go back down there, and we'll start tying this beautiful fly. So anyhow, once again, congrats to Rod. So we're going to start it off. We're going to do this one in a size 14 1760 Daiichi. And there's probably a million people out there that, yeah, you're tying it wrong or you're doing this wrong. But you got to remember that this is my rendition of Mr. Chan's Chronomid that he posted for everyone to gawk over today. And I mean, I tie a wide variety of a few of them. I'm still relatively new to the Chronomid game. I've only been doing it for about 10 years or so. So I mean, you could you could definitely have a few more years on me if you've been doing it 30 or 40 years like Mr. Chan has. So what the product code is worn off on this, but it's a Danville, and you can't really tell by looking at it under this light, but it's a really light tan. It could be slightly sun faded because I've had this spool for about 20 years now. But all we're going to do is just throw a little bit of line up on the head here. And then there's this uni stretch. Works wicked for gills for Chronomids. I don't know what you guys use, but leave it in the comments down below. Okay, so leave them comments of what you guys use for your gills down in the comments below. So all you're going to do is just throw that up on there. Cut a little bit of this stuff. Comes in big spools, so and you could probably tie 10,000 Chironomids with one spool, and it's relatively inexpensive. So you're just going to throw that back there, cut this guy off. And now what I'm going to do is go back to that Tasty Tackle 7/64 black nickel bead. There's two ways on a bead. There's a fat end and a skinny end on the eyelet. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but put the fat end toward the eye of the hook, and it'll just kind of sit over top of the eye and hide everything. And then fire it back in the vise. And you see how it's just sitting there. You can leave this stuff kind of poking out right now, or you can trim it. It doesn't matter either way. I usually trim it all up at the end. So now what we're going to do is take that light olive, fire it down on top. And the wire that I'm using today, it might be a little on the heavy side, but it's just what I had. So it's a black Superfly medium, black medium. You'd probably get away with a small. Sorry, my kids are in the background. Sounds like they're all hopped up on candy or something. But anyhow, so what we'll do is you take that medium wire, put it right up on top. If you don't put it on top, it'll change the shape of your Chronomid and make it look really goofy. So you're just going to throw that right up on top and follow it all the way back into the bend a little bit. Just a little into the bend. And then follow it back up all the way up to the head. And what you're going to do is try not to make it too fat. If you make it too fat, it's not good. And if you're nicking your hook like I am, it makes a little bit of fuzz. Chronomids are pretty easy to tie. If you can't tie Chronomids, man, fly tying ain't for you. And all I'm doing is kind of filling the gap in between the wire, and you can kind of see it there. You don't want it stepping up. And then what you're going to do is just go back a little bit onto the wire just to blend it, and then back to the head. And you just want a slight taper from the bend of the hook up to the head, but you don't want to make it too thick. As you can see, I might have made it already too thick, but that just makes them that much bigger and juicier. Like I always tell my kids, I don't order off the kids menu. But when it comes to Chironomids, you're ordering off the kids menu. So, at this point, we're just going to fire that up over top of the bobbin cradle, and we're going to get busy wrapping the chrony. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of that fuzz off this. If we can, it just saves me doing it later. Alright, so, and that was fuzz just from nicking the tip of the hook on my thread. If you ain't done that, you ain't tied Chironomids before. So, what they say you want to do is about 6 wraps. So, roughly 6 wraps all the way up. And you want to evenly space them until you get up to the head. And at the head, wrap it around. And all I'm going to do is just lock it down. I mean, these are definitely not the most entertaining of flies to tie, but I assure you they're a very effective fly. And I always recommend having a spare pair of scissors because cutting wire is not the best for your expensive scissors. And in that case, I'm using my expensive scissors to cut wire, which not the greatest idea. So once you cut that, you kind of want to use the edge of your fingernail or something hard just to kind of flatten that wire down just a little bit. And then at that point, all we're going to do, take our whip finisher, try your best just to cover that lip right behind the bead so that that wire doesn't bugger off on you. And then suck it down nice and tight. Now you want to cut that thread off nice and short. And at this point, what we can do is also cut this. You don't want to leave your lung too long, so we usually just pass the tip, and you got this nice little lung that's Chronomids used to breathe. And then we're going to finish this off with one of the greatest Chironomid finishes there is on the planet, and that would be Solarez Bone Dry. And I know there's a lot of different products out there right now. If you got one that you really, really like and you got to share with me, throw it in the comments below. We always like new product. But for now, I've been using Bone Dry. I've been using Bone Dry for a long time. So you could leave it the way it is right now and fish it, and you can see, if you look over on the right hand side, that's looking pretty close to what our man Brian Chan has got in that vial. But we're going to just dupe it up a little bit here, just make it extra sexy, like big time. So, and on top of it, by doing this, you're going to prolong the life of that beautiful Chronomid. It bulks them up a little bit, so if you put too much on, you can always take a little bit of it off. And then sometimes it doesn't hurt just to let a couple wraps, spin it around a couple times. Just let it kind of settle in, and then hit it with that UV light. And that's all it takes. Boom. There you go. That's my attempt at tying the lovely hint that Brian Chan gave us on his Instagram account today. Tell me what you think in the comments. I think it's pretty close. If this light wasn't, I wish I had a white light bulb here just for the sake that it's kind of throwing it off. But if you could see it, it's a light olive, and as soon as you hit it with the Solarez, it darkens it up just a little bit, and it is a perfect match to Mr. Chan's Chronomid suggestion of the day. So with that, we're going to go back up top, and we're going to mention a new contest. Since everybody's talking about tying Chironomids, and you just saw me use two of the different things. Maybe you've got the clear at home already, but these things aren't cheap. They're not free. They don't grow on trees. And if you got the clear already, what we're going to do is we're going to give away either the black or the clear. Oh, we got it backwards. The black or the clear. And we're going to give away a bag of the new Tasty Tackle beads, man. And if I didn't have so many in my hands right now, it'd be a lot easier. Maybe you got a lot of Chronomid beads already. You want some for tying some woolly buggers or pumpkin heads. But I'm just going to fan them up in my hands here a little bit and try my best to just show you some of the colors. And that packaging is amazing, man. They've done a really good job. Anyhow, if you haven't seen them, Tasty Tackle, tastytackle.com. Check them out online. You can order them from the safety of your home, and they will deliver it right to your house or your mailbox. Either way. Anyhow, we're going to leave it at that. And congrats once again to Rod Dayton for winning the Solarez High Output UV. And I got one more. I think I'm going to tie a Chromie. I've got another pattern. I'm just going to give you a little quick shot. Oh, you can't. Oh, could you see it down there? I'll give you a little hinter here. This is one pattern that absolutely smokes them in parenting. I took it away though. So hang out. I might take that one, or I might tie a Chromie. So anyhow, it's for you to find out. Stick around.